Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Recovery Lab TV. My name is Chris. I'm your coach and therapist, and today we are doing our lower body prehab session. It is officially Friday. Welcome, everybody. Hope you're having an amazing morning so far. Hope you're having a lovely week so far, and hope I can make it even better during this session. Let me know how you're doing in the comment section. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button. Hit the little like button if you're having a great day so far. And tell your friends, drop them a text, send them the link, share it across everything, and let's get this class busy. How are we doing so far? Are we all okay? Let me know in that comment section. Good, there we go. How are we doing, Paul? Looking great, mate. It looks absolutely beautiful outside. I don't know about you. I started my day in the sea at 6 o'clock where I saw the sunrise. Which was pretty cool way to start my day. Freezing initially, but yeah, honestly, absolutely beautiful. Sunrise was amazing. The sky right now is amazing, and hopefully this class is amazing by the end of it. Okay, so things you're going to need are potentially something that will allow your foot to slide across your floor. Okay, I'm going to use a towel. Okay, it's literally just like a sweat towel. You can use a towel as well. You can use like a Tupperware lid. You can use a carrier bag if you want to put your foot in a carrier bag and slide that out, okay, depending if you have carpet or not. If you have actual slip pads, obviously they're the number one choice. But if not, then try and grab an alternative. Maybe it's having flooring and sticking a pair of extra socks on so you slide along. And you'll know what I mean in a minute when I explain, okay? But you're going to need one of these, okay? You're going to need some mini bands if you have mini bands, okay? They're effectively little bands just like this that go around your knees or your feet and just allow us to do a bit of work to strengthen up our hips, our ankles, and so on as we're doing it, okay? And then if you have, only if you have, okay, some sort of balance cushion, okay? Now, this could be either a little Aerex pad, okay? It's kind of this thick, and it's kind of made out of memory foam, okay? If you don't have one of these, then not to worry, okay? You could also be one of these type of things, okay? Which is like a squishy kind of minstrel, if you will. It's got spiky sides, and it's got smooth sides, and just allows an uneven surface. Now, if you don't have any of those, not to worry, okay? You can use a stack of cushions. You could even get a stack of bathroom towels that you could get one or two, lay them on top, and effectively it's going to feel exactly like this Aerex pad. It's just a lot cheaper, okay? So you're going to need one of those as well, okay? So hopefully you're nice and prepared and you've got a big space. Hopefully you've got a mat out ready for yourself. You've got a drink, hopefully, and a well-ventilated room. So if you haven't, knock the windows open some doors, get a fan on. Just because although some of the exercises won't appear to be hard, you will get hot and bothered just because they are actually quite challenging. All right. So that being said, what you're going to do, you're going to come back just like so. You're going to be on all fours just like so. And what you're going to do, you're going to step forward. Okay. You're going to then rotate around, get that stretch in the upper back, come back, step forward as much as you can. Because if you remember from what I've said in the past, what I said yesterday, that upper back has a massive knock-on effect to the lower back. And the lower back is attached to the pelvis, which means it influences your legs, okay? And vice versa. If you have tight hamstrings, it's going to pull at the hip, which is going to pull on the lower back, which is going to potentially give you back problems, all right? So it's all influencing each other, and this is why these classes are so important, because they're going to help correct you and increase your strength and performance in everything you love doing anyway. So big rotations, keep getting that hip up, going up like so, and then one more. Great job, well done. Okay, so from there, what you're going to do, you are spinning around like me, okay? You're gonna lift up like here, okay? So you're only moving your hip. Your foot and knee angle stays the same, okay? It's there to there. Now notice how I'm trying to keep my back as straight as I can, trying to keep everything else still. And I'm only moving my hip, working my hip flexors, working my glutes. Like so, and your arms might be sore from yesterday. Good, 2 more. Last one. Good job. Swapping sides. Good, 2 more. So keeping that hip still. Good. This time coming out to the side, wide as you can. That's it, perfect. Big hip opening. Trying to keep that back as still as you can. 2 more. Last one. Great job. Spinning around onto the opposite side. Good, last 2. Last one. Good. So if you have those mini bands, okay, you're going to grab one out, okay, you're going to stick it on your feet, okay, by my feet, I mean if you slide it back, okay, they're literally going on just like that, okay. Now, where they should be is balls of your feet, okay, so the bottom of the bar, you should just be able to poke your feet up, okay, and what you're going to do is stretch your legs out nice and straight, okay. I'll go straight on to you guys, and that way you can see, okay. So from there, right, my hips are in a straight line, my legs are in a straight line, okay. Your arms can be placed behind your head, behind your back, as much as you can, right. So what you're going to do is keep your legs dead straight. You're going to tuck your toes up, okay, and now depending on the weakness in your ankles, okay, your ankles could want to relax to like this, all right. They may find it already uncomfortable, and you may be feeling it in the shins just by here, okay. What you're going to do is gently rotate the hips and come back in, okay. So you're going to draw there, come there. Now the movement comes from the top where it is rotated here and coming back, right. You're not just moving your feet, okay. Rotate from the hip, come back in, all right. It's super controlled, super steady. You're not coming all the way back in, you're just coming to that straight line, okay? So if you need to walk it out a bit, walk it out a bit, but notice that it's going to be a lot harder, and I don't want your feet to do this, all right? Okay? Control it wide as you can and back into the middle. Big deep breaths. So challenging from there. Last 2. Good, last one. Should be feeling it in your bum ever so slightly from there. Good. From there, coming up nice and slow. Take your time, especially if you get lightheaded. So, shuffling back so you can see me. Okay. Right. Now, the main goal. A lot of you have done this exercise before where you've sat down and you've walked it out a little bit. Okay. What tends to happen, and the biggest thing I see is if I slide my foot out, as you pull out here, because you have the bands here, it tends to draw your knees in. Or if you draw this one out, this one trails like this, and you end up kind of ruining the whole purpose of why you're doing what you're doing. Okay. If you have it in your feet, okay, and your feet are dead forward, okay, dead straight, you draw out here, and you make sure your knees and legs are in line, okay, and you don't compromise your ankles when you run, and when you land, when you jump, when you explode up, when you squat, and so on and so forth, you won't compromise your ankles again, okay? So having a band down on the foot sometimes, you can still feel it up here and activate your glutes and activate your outer thigh, inner thigh, waking up your hips, but you're doing it from your ankle, okay? And sometimes that's a lot better for you, okay? So you're going to slide across, step, slide back, step, slide back, okay? And then go the other way, slide back. Now if you push your bum back a little, you'll be able to feel it a little bit more as you do it. Now if you don't have these bands, okay, what I want you to do is squat down and do it, okay? Just make sure those feet are in line and facing forward as you do this move. That's it, keep it up. Keeping those feet facing forward. So a couple more. And relax. Now you should all be able to feel it literally right by here, kind of in that dimple where your TFL is. What you're going to do now is come back down, okay? You're going to go from there. You're going to gently lift up. You're going to go as wide as you can, back forward, okay? You're probably moving maybe 2 inches, okay? But I want you to go 2 inches either side, back in the middle. Now the goal is, a lot of people naturally relax their feet like that, okay? Because you're tighter and more dominant this side than you are this side. What this is going to do is help correct the imbalance between the outside and inside, okay? Because you're going to have to force yourself to control that situation, okay? Now, if your feet are landing like this, okay, it means your knee is being thrown off center, and it's going to give you knee problems, all right? It's also going to give you hip problems because it means that your socket is actually misaligned when you are running, landing, moving, and effectively you could be running like this with your knees out slightly. Maybe not as exaggerated as this, but to some degree, okay? So you're going to be up there, you're going to go out wide and back in the middle, okay? Wide, back in the middle. Now, if this is really hard, okay, you just bring your feet in, you go wide, out in the middle. It's the same movement, it's just a lever, it's a little bit shorter, okay? But drive out with the ankle. Don't focus about the toes, okay? So it's that ankle that moves out wide. So keep it up, keep it going. That's it. Try to keep that chest nice and tall. Two more. Good, last one. Good, and relax. Sliding those bands up to the top, just above your knee. So you kind of want a hand gap between your knee and the band itself, okay? From there, you're gonna plant your feet on the floor, okay? Your feet are shoulder width, okay? So they're a little wider than the hip, okay? And those knees are shoulder width as well, right? Want you to hold your tummy, want you to drive up, squeeze your bum, so you've got a straight line from your shoulder all the way to your knee. You're gonna come down, tap, shoot up. Nice and steady, tap, shoot up. Coming up in about 1 second, going down in about 2 or 3. Last two. Last one. Great job, well done. From there, laying onto your side. Okay, hands going to be facing upwards. Both hips are off, both feet are off the floor. Your hip is obviously not off the floor. Be well impressed if you could do that as well. You're going to tuck your feet up. Okay, again, driving out with the heel. Okay, if you focus on the heel, you go outwards like so. Okay, if you focus on the toe or the foot, you go out and you rotate. Okay, you end up getting stronger and kind of really increasing where you're already dominant or over dominant. Okay, and you end up making the problem worse. Okay, so tuck those toes up. Imagine yourself wedged in between a sheet of glass. Okay, back is lovely and straight. Your head is neutral. You're drawing up like so, keeping those feet up, just like that. Two more. Last one. Good job. Spinning around, just like so. Nice proud chest, straight back, hips up, big drive out. That's it. Body as straight as you possibly can. And that's it. Control the movement. Keep the ankles straight. Should feel the increase in your hip. Two more. Last one. Great job, well done. So from there, slide it back down to your feet. Okay. Grab yourself a little drink first, and then we're going back to the one with our legs up, drawn out wide. Let me know in the comment section how you're feeling so far. How are we all getting on? How are we feeling? We okay? How are you finding it so far? Yeah? So let me know how you're getting on. You should feel it nice and intense into your hips, okay? And you'll kind of get what I'm getting at in a second when we progress onto the kind of balance exercises as well. All right? So legs up nice and tall, okay? Drawing out just like that, drawing back in, okay? Big movements, keeping the feet nice and straight. It's really important that you keep that alignment, right? If at any point any of you have any questions, by all means, chuck it in the comment section, okay? That's what it's there for. Not going to offend me. It's all about learning and growing. So two more. Last one. Good job. Slide your feet back in. Back up. Remember, it's about a hand width away from the knee. Okay? Feet just wider than the hip. In line with the shoulder. Knees are exactly the same. Scooping up. Big draw up. Squeezing your bum. So let's go. Keeping that gap. Doing amazing, alright guys? Keep it up, keep it going. Sit, big drive. Keeping those knees driven out. Last one. Great job. From there, making yourself as straight as you possibly can. Tucking those toes up, keeping them as flat as you can. Spine nice and straight, that's the most important, okay? Hips nice and straight, that influences the spine. Driving up. Sit, tuck those toes up. Engage the fronts of your shins. Last one. Great job. Spin around. So there we go. Big drive up. Make sure that foot is facing forward. Try and keep that neck nice and neutral and that spine nice and straight. It's kind of almost a balancing game as well as a hip activation game. That's it, keep it going. 2 more. Great job, well done. Knock the band off. Chuck it down, grab a drink. Let me know how you're getting on. Shut these away. So, amazing effort. Hopefully your hips should be all awoken. And you should be feeling good so far. Okay. So, typically you'll see in most gyms, people will put it on their thighs. You'll even see now in kind of, it's become a common thing that you'll have it really high up, you know. You've got these girls doing all these exercises, kicking out there for better bums and stuff. To be honest, it's about proof and purpose, okay? I see more benefit when it comes to placing it on your feet, so because it leads to better functional training when it comes to your foot placement, because when you're walking, you want your foot to land dead straight because you're running in a dead straight movement, okay? Now, if you're landed here because you've got strong at driving out and you rotate, okay, you're going to be landed here, which then means if you're going in a forward momentum, your knee is then rotating and bending forward this way when your foot's that way, you know? And I know this looks extreme, but this is what is happening on a micro level. And when it happens on a micro level and you do 10,000 steps a day just walking around, but then you're doing 20,000 steps when you go for a run in the evening or in the morning or whatever, that's 20,000 times your knee is having to happen to, okay? So it's a massive indicator, a massive influence on your kind of movement pattern and the potential damage you're doing to yourself, right? So for some of the exercises, you'll notice that obviously I put it further up because that's where the greatest adaptation is, like for your bridges, kind of driving outwards, if you will, because then my emphasis is still on the ankle placement, the alignment, right? The more you focus on that alignment, the better you're going to find it, right? So you're going to get yourself your kind of slip pads, your mat, your towel, whatever you have, okay? You're going to place one foot nice on there, okay? You're going to place one foot on your pad, okay? I'm going to just slide this up ever so slightly, bring you forward a little bit, and then that way you'll be able to see me a little bit better because I'm tall. So what I'm doing now, the ball of my foot is on the towel or the slip pad, okay? My foot is in the middle of whatever I'm using as a balance cushion. Now, if you don't have anything, that's absolutely fine. It's still going to be challenging the way you're doing it, okay? So you're going to start by there, okay? You're going to slide backwards. You're going to focus on something in the distance. you're going to come forward. Okay, so not only is it going to challenge your balance and your eccentric strength, that lengthening strength, okay, it's also going to challenge your hip stability, your ankle stability, because that should be working its proprioception, so that kind of micro movements either side. You'll know exactly how what I'm on about when you're doing it. Okay, so gently getting ready. Pick one foot. It doesn't matter which one. I'm using my left at the front, and then place your hands on your hips for now. Okay, so deep as you can. Go to your kind of depth, and then a big slide forward. Okay, so big slide back. Big slide forward. That's it, really good. Drawing it back, making sure that shin is nice and straight and that chest is upright. As you're there, holding that shape, just like so, okay? I want to place that weight evenly distributed between the front foot and your rear foot. Loading the hip nice and evenly. Good, shake it out. Loosen yourself up. Swap it over. Now just be aware that one foot is going to be really good at balancing, the other foot is going to have all the power in. Okay? And you're going to find out that one foot is a lot different compared to the other. Okay? This is my weakest side for balance. So this is the one I tend to struggle on, right? So you might be the same. Keep your head up, keep your chest up, hands there, draw your shoulders back, puff your chest out, slide it back as best as you can. Go down, big drive up, okay? You're aiming to sit it down, just like so. You should feel it in your hip flexor here and the side of your bum on the front leg. That's it, big deep breaths, big draw in. That's it. Good. Two more. Last one. Good. So as you're resting, stand on your balance cushion. Okay. Bring your feet together and just relax. Have a moment. If you want to drink, grab a drink. The reason why you're standing here is because your feet will still be working just as much as they would initially. It's just a little bit more than if you're standing on your normal floor. Okay. How are we doing so far? Are we okay? Working really hard. Some of you are going to be a little bit out of breath. You're going to feel that this is potentially harder than it would be. And you're also potentially going to have a bit of a burning sensation by here if you're new to balance training, proprioceptive training, and so on and so forth. If you're feeling it here, okay, in that kind of dimple in your bum, that's brilliant, okay? That's exactly where you want to feel it as you slide that leg back. You're going to feel it on that front leg here, and it's kind of from that sitting back motion that you kind of really want to get. That's really important for hip development, okay? Glute activation and hip loading. So, original foot on your AirX pad, your squishy pad, okay? You want your heel down, you want your big toe down. That's going to influence all the other little toes, okay? But then try and spread your toes out as much as you can. That's going to increase the activation in the foot, all right? Okay, doing amazing so far, all right? So keep that chest up, keep that head up. Focus on something in the distance that isn't moving. Place your hands on your hips. You're going to slide back nice and steady. Come back. There you go. Tap. Big drive up. Okay. Ooh, stuffed it. There you go. Big drive back. Stretch your hip out. Good. Keep focusing on that balance. 2 more. Last one. Great job, well done. Swap your sides. There we go. An inch. Good, swap your sides. Okay, so again, heel down, big toe down, separate your toes. Okay, nice proud chest, foot on the ball. Okay, sinking it back, stretching it back with the other leg. Really deep. And a big drive forward, okay? Good. Deep as you can. Good, you're almost there. Last 2 if you can. Final 1. Great job. Okay, you've got 1 more round. Sit your feet together if you can on your little balance cushion. Let me know how you're doing. It's difficult to keep sliding, isn't it? Okay, so if you are struggling to keep it backwards in a straight line, okay, and you need to put pressure on the ball of the foot as you slide back, okay? Just because you're moving it backwards doesn't mean that this leg has got all the weight on. You need to load that equally, okay? If your leg is going out to the side, okay, that's because typically you stand like this, so your muscles are dominated towards that kind of left field, if you will, that kind of 45-degree angle outwards. So it's your job then to kind of make sure that you're going slower and slower and slower. And yes, you're going to feel it more. Yes, it's going to be a little harder, a little bit more activated and kind of more intense. However, you want that feeling, and then it's up to that mental toughness to come in and say, right, okay, stick with it. This is what I need to do. This is what it takes, okay, to slide it back and bring it in, okay, all right. Yeah, it's really, really good because like the more you slide it back here, not only are you loading your hips, but you're also stretching out your hip flexors. Now, most of us are sitting down quite a lot throughout the day. If we've got office jobs, we're commuting, we're cycling, you name it, we're sat here, okay? So all of a sudden when you're trying to load your hip, most of us lunge incorrectly and we load our front knee, okay? Because it's easier. You go forward that way, right? But what happens is you've got your knee joint, now you open it, okay? You've got your quad patella in there and you've got these meniscus, okay? Your cartilage in the middle. Now imagine you're bending it and then pushing your weight into that joint, which eventually is going to damage the soft tissue within the knee, those little meniscus pads, those cartilage pads, and then it's going to load the patella, okay, which is why you end up getting kind of runner's knee, the tendon by here, patella tendon gets tendinopathy, called runner's knee. It's basically a built-up access of tension all the way down here. It's put into the side, and then you're loading the patella as opposed to loading the hip. Now, this hip is much bigger than this joint here. It's like the shoulder. It's much bigger than the elbow. Elbow's much bigger than the wrist. Now, if you load from big to small, just like we do, okay, it's going to be much more effective as you do that. But it's going to mean that you're going to have to really work for it as you're doing so, okay? So, going back to that original leg, okay, planting there, coming back as you draw through, make sure you start at the top, okay? So you're triply extended, it's called, right? Got extension in the ankle, the knee, the hip, tall as a button, okay? There, you slide back then, loading the hip, stretching out the back leg, okay? Then driving up, okay? Notice how I've gone right the way up and I'm as tall as I can, okay? And then you're going back again. So if you haven't started already, get started. Now, if you want, use your arms in this, all right? So it's down, back as much as you can. Big drive up. Now look how straight my shin is, okay? It's dead straight. And here I'm much more powerful because I'm driving up from the back leg. Okay? It's that hip force that drives me through. I'm not driving solely off this leg, okay? I'm driving forward. All right? That's it. 2 more. Coming through. Last one. Great job, well done. Shake it out. Grab yourself a little drink. Let me know how you're feeling, and let me know if a lot of what I'm saying is making sense to you. Okay? Yeah, it's amazing what you can use, isn't it? All right. So, absolutely amazing. It's really good for artificial knees because what it's going to do is the reason why you have artificial knees is because you put too much pressure on your knees in the first place. So, doing this movement is recorrecting the way you should move. Okay. Now, by recorrecting it, it's going to load up the hip, it's going to load up the ankle. Okay. And by doing so, it safeguards the knee. Okay. Now, the knee is kind of, I like to think of it as the little brother in between the 2 big brothers, okay? You've got this ankle. Now, although this ankle is really small compared to the knee, it's a lot stronger in the sense that it's a combination of lots of bones, lots of muscles, lots of ligaments, and it's able to hold our entire body weight up, whereas this knee isn't necessarily designed for that, okay? It's for extending, okay, and moving. It's the muscles above and below that help give strength to the knee, okay? Now, if you can stabilize here, okay, and you have a strong, stable surface and a reactive surface, so you're kind of bouncy with your foot, okay, you end up using tendon energy and you end up saving the joint, okay? Now, if you're stable here, okay, it ends up saving here, okay? So these 2, if you build stability and strength in those 2, it then stops his knee from wobbling around, right? It's similar if I shake my arm, okay, the vibration just wriggles all the way down. But if this is static, then all of a sudden this is just getting waved around without anything else moving, okay, which then causes damage to that knee, all right? So if you build up stability through proprioceptive training, which is a fancy word for balance training, okay, you will build it in both your ankle and your hip, and you will safeguard your knee, regardless whether they're real or artificial, okay? Now, using your slip pads, this one's a really tough one to do, okay? Now, you are either going to put your hands across your hip and you're going to walk your feet out as much as you can, keeping your lower back off the floor, if you can see mine, and then you're going to come back up, okay? And you're going to keep those hips up as tall as you can, or you're going to place one foot on, okay? You're going to slide down and back up, okay? If you can only do it with one leg, or if you can, there's the many, right? While you're there, your feet are on, you're going down with 2, go to stretch out, and coming back up with 2, okay? Now, it's an incredibly hard exercise because it demands a lot of strength in your hamstrings, in your glutes, in your lower back. Typically, we're weak there. You're going to have to use your hips to do so, okay? So it's stretching out. You're stretching and lowering yourself, and you're driving your hip up as you drive your heel in, okay? So pick a version. It's up to you whether you're walking your feet out, you're using one leg at a time, okay? There's going to be 2 rounds in total, all right? So if you want to use one leg, you can, and then you're going to swap next round. But gently get ready, okay? Go to 3, 2, 1. Big slide out. Calm it down. Stretch it. Big drive in. Nice and powerful, nice and quick. It's going to be the only way some of you guys can get it in. Notice how I'm going on my heels. Just allows greater stretch and force production. Good. Try and breathe out as you come up. Engage your abs. Good. Powerful as you can with those hips. So keep it going. Doing amazing, guys, honestly. Couple more. And relax. Good job. Shake your legs out, nice and straight. Let your hamstrings calm down. If you need to stretch them, lift them up, give them a reach. Okay, otherwise, take your time. Have a little breather. Well done. Woo. Surprising how much activation. So if you have really weak hamstrings, okay, this exercise is the number one exercise, right? If you have a Swiss ball, one of those yoga balls, right, the big bouncy balls you got, if you do this on there, okay, it is being proven that is the number one exercise for hamstring activation, okay? So if you have a hamstring injury or they are super weak or they're not firing as well, this exercise, okay, is the number one exercise for hamstring recruitment, okay? If you have a weak back, if your hips are tucked under too much and you need to get these a little more dominant, if you're really quad dominant and you've noticed that and it kind of pulls on the side of your knee all the time, then get these hamstrings nice and strong, okay? The typical reason why we tend to get injuries on our posterior chain is because it's a lot weaker than the front of us, okay? So you got one more round, then we're having a little stretch and a chat. So hips up tall as you can. Really engage it, slide it out as best as you possibly can. Big stretch. There we go, big drive in. Good. Keeping those hips up all the way through. They're your main focus. That's it, great job. Keep it up, keep it going. That's it, got it. Great job, keep going. Two more. Keep working. That's it, last one. Great job, well done. Grab yourself a little drink first. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how you found out when it's a tough one. Okay? It really is a tough one. Exactly. And that's the funny thing is, like, training methodologies are changing so much now, you know, like people like myself is so much more evidence-based as opposed to just hammering yourself. And you really got to lose that more is better approach. More is only better if it's done correctly. Like this whole calorie burning and so on and so forth. Mentality that we have. If we move effectively, we move efficiently, we will get the adaptations that we want and we will get our goals that we want. It's kind of like ingredients to your food recipes, you know. If you change the recipe, then you change the results and you're not going to get the result and the product that you actually think you're trying to get. And there's so many people out there working so hard towards their goals, yet because they're completely unaware of what they're doing and is slightly wrong, or their technique is going because they don't want to work with someone or follow someone, they're missing out their goals and they're kind of always working towards it, but they're never attaining it. And it's those things that if you just tweaked certain things, just corrected where your foot placement was, your shoulder placement, if you corrected, drive it up from your hip as opposed to your knee, you increase that performance so much more and you get less and less injuries, because we tend to get to a point where we're doing really good and then boom, all of a sudden there's this injury that's come in and it kind of ruins us, you know? And then all of a sudden we have to have a X amount of time off because of the injury or motivation or a combination of both. And it kind of really knocks our confidence. So then when we go back in, we do the same again. And then boom, the same injury happens, and then before you know it, it becomes a habit, and then we just tell ourselves that we're getting old, when in reality, it's got nothing to do with age. It's got everything to do with knowing what you're doing and how you're doing it, okay? So I know a number of you have made so much progress so far just by doing these classes for a couple of weeks, a couple of months. So keep it up, keep it going, and I promise you, you will be getting stronger, better, more stable, less injuries, and you'll just move so much more effectively and efficiently. And any kind of back pain, shoulder niggles, leg pain, knee pains, and stuff like that, it will get less and less, and you'll be happier and happier, and you'll be moving towards your goals, as you know, all right? So from there, if you can, drop that outside arm down, and if you can, drop that inside arm down, and just try and keep this foot as straight as you can. Separate toes if you can, give them a good old wiggle, engage that foot as much as you can. Good, gently coming up, nice and tall. From there, leaning back if you can. So you're going to put your foot down, come up, reach there, or if you get knee pain, just grab a seat and slide in like this. It's completely up to you which one you do. It does both. But yeah, thank you for your time today. Hope a lot of what I said has made sense. If you guys want to know any more, just let me know. And I know I talk a lot, but it's because I kind of want to educate you a little bit, make you understand why you're doing what you're doing, and then that way, if you train with other people, you train with me, and you want to know questions, by all means ask. Swapping sides, okay, coming up, coming through, because I'm a firm believer in you should always know why you're doing what you're doing, okay? If you don't know why, and if your coach doesn't know why you're doing what you're doing, then quite frankly, you shouldn't be doing it, So yeah, big deep breaths. So if you can, drop that outside arm, make sure those elbows are in line with that ankle. Your body loves symmetry, and that's what we're trying to get. Good. Gently coming up, leaning back if you can. Again, you have the option of stretching out with your leg out or your knee on the floor. It's completely up to you. Good. Big old stretch. Sat down. Arms on the back. Nice proud chest. Tall as you can. So from there, lifting up one leg. What you're going to do is cross over. You're going to give yourself a big old hug. It's going to stretch out your glutes. You're going to push your chest out at the same time, okay? So there's no point in rounding your back, because the moment you draw your chest up, you'll feel it even more, because it's, like I said earlier, your lower back is attached to your pelvis. So is your glutes, so is your hamstrings, all right? So big proud chest, big crossover. Feel it right by here as you're doing this exercise. Good, nice and tall, swapping over. Good, nice and proud. Good, and relax. Good job. Have an amazing day, guys. Absolute pleasure. Thank you for joining me on your Friday morning. And for those who've joined me all week, for your time and effort. I really, really appreciate it. Honestly, it means the world that you guys attend these classes. And want to take time out of your day to spend it with me. So I appreciate it. I appreciate you all. Thank you for your lovely comments in the comment section. Thank you for using it, because I do want to get that conversation started. I do want interaction on this channel, because I think it's important for you guys to create the community, you know, and that's exactly what I want to do. This is why I'm doing this channel in the first place, is to literally inspire you guys and generate and create that community that we can all come together, meet each other, learn people's names, and kind of see familiar names in the comment section, so we can get and make friends, you know. So yeah, keep it up, keep it going. Thanks again, thanks a million. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that little thumbs up video. Share it with your friends if you want to. By all means, it's going to help me and help your friends potentially. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. And yeah, thank you. Have an amazing weekend. Let me know what you get up to. Tag me on your social media stuff. If you're doing any kind of sorts of training or whatever, by all means tag me, and I will like and follow you as well. But yeah, any questions, any queries, we've got a lovely little discussion board on our channel. Use that if you want videos made, if you have certain issues and stuff. I'm going to be releasing the warm-up videos Jem's asked for, the back video Anne's asked for. It's literally being currently edited at the minute. As soon as they're edited and finished, hopefully I'll be able to finish that this weekend, and then I'll get them out to you as and when, okay? So look out for those, right? Have an amazing day. Take care, and I shall see you all soon. Thanks again. Have a lovely one. Enjoy this beautiful sunshine. Get outside, have a walk, have a coffee, and take care. See you soon. Have a good one.